I've never got this scared in my life.
You hear her say there was a confrontation, that he may have tried to kiss her.
And he left. He was so pissed. Pick up your phones. I am freaked out right now.
She hit him, and then he ran away.
She slapped him, and she said that he seemed really pissed off.
She rebuffed him. She basically said, go away, stop harassing me.
You don't know what's happening. You know, if she's out there in the cold, if she's hungry for the last 2 days, if she has clothes or not.
Please keep praying for us. We need help. We need our new support.
Disturbing new developments in the case of missing student Aisha Khan. Why wasn't she caught on surveillance video? And were there any credible witnesses to her disappearance? Good evening, everyone. Jane Velez Mitchell back with you live in New York City. Beautiful 19-year-old Aisha was last seen Friday studying on a college campus in Overland Park, Texas. Right before she disappeared, she left a terrified voicemail for her sister, in which she described being accosted by a seemingly intoxicated, drunk or stoned homeless man. Listen to the voicemail.
And he left and he was so pissed. Pick up your phones. I am freaked out right now. Okay. End of message.
All right after leaving that voicemail, Aisha vanished, gone, poof, just into thin air. But she left behind her bag, her school books, her iPod, even her cell phone. The FBI now interviewing the family, trying to piece together what might have happened to this beautiful young lady. And the police who've been scouring the area may have found some witnesses. Listen to this.
3 of the construction workers remember seeing an individual matching her description walking away from that building to the northwest by herself. I would caution you to understand that seeing an individual and knowing for a fact it is her are 2 different things.
Okay, was Aisha kidnapped on campus? Give me a call, 1-877-JBN says. Straight out to my very special guest, Aisha's good friends, Pesneem Turkmani and Emily Cheatham. Thank you both for being here. We really appreciate it. We're doing everything we can to help find Aisha. We want to get the word out. We want to show her face. We want to find her. Let me ask you, and I'll start with Emily. I guess we're wondering, does she always wear her headdress? Because in trying to look for somebody who may not be there, it's going to be interesting to see whether people are looking for just her, basically her face, or her in her garb.
Yeah, she always wears it. I've never seen it without it on. I mean, unless the circumstance, something happened that she didn't have it on. There is the pictures out there on the internet going around, but she always wears it.
What has this been like for you? And I can direct that at Pesneem. What has this been like for you? I mean, this must be kind of horrifying, terrifying, and you must feel obviously frantic. We're all frantic. I feel frantic in trying to find this young woman. Pesneem?
Yeah, it's very scary and it's terrifying, and I just can't believe it. It just feels so unreal, like it's a dream.
It's a bad dream, yes. Police have not been able to find this mysterious stranger or this allegedly homeless, possibly homeless, drunk or stoned man who purportedly accosted Aisha Khan before she simply vanished. And there were questions about that posed to the Overland police chief during a news conference. Listen to this.
Is there any indication that she decided to leave on her own and created this story as a cover-up?
We have no information either way. We have no information that, for a solid information that it was an abduction, and we have no information that it wasn't. So the TAC is very clear and very careful. You proceed with the worst case scenario, and you keep going that direction, because if in fact she left on her own, then okay, she's okay, and that'll be fine. But in case she has a problem or she's in trouble, we want to find her.
All right, well, let me ask you this, Emily. You're a good friend of the missing woman. She got married in July. The cops say absolutely no reason to believe that the husband is a suspect whatsoever. But given that she's 19 years old, essentially a teenager, and she just got married, I do have to ask you, was she very happy about being married? Were there any reservations that she might have had about her marriage? Is it possible that she might have wanted to get away from her husband?
No, she's always been a really happy girl. There wasn't anything that I knew of that was wrong. Knowing her, I don't think that she would have run away like that. It's just not something she would do, so
there's only one reason that we're asking this, is that it was 39 degrees out that day. That was the high for that day, nearly freezing. And what we're hearing is that she was studying at a picnic table in this campus setting outdoors and studying for a test. Now, that is something that has kind of made people wonder. John Lieberman, you're an investigative reporter.
Yeah, well, here's a strange thing. I've been on that college campus many times. I used to work out in Kansas as a reporter, and it's generally very busy on that campus. And also, there are cameras everywhere, which that's one thing that has police a little bit stumped, because nobody's come forward to say they saw, except for the construction worker that you heard. Nobody heard screams, nobody heard a lot of commotion, and cameras haven't captured anything as well. And that has led to police to keep open this scenario whereby this young woman may have run away.
Well, it's interesting, Mike Brooks, because if you look at this picnic table, it's outdoors. Now, so purportedly, it's in an area that's sort of enclosed, so it would not be visible to people who were just walking by. But I can't get past the idea that she's sitting there in the highest temperature of the day was 39 degrees, so possibly lower than 39 degrees studying outdoors. That stumps me.
Yeah, that kind of jumped out at me too, Jane. When I heard that, I'm going, wait a minute. People don't sit outside in the cold and study when you can go inside a building and study, and especially there with the wind and everything else. But these construction workers that saw someone like her, if she did have her head covered, she would probably stand out and be recognizable by those people if they saw her walking away. There was also apparently a professor who saw her or someone fitting her description also walking away from this building. And this drunk guy, if you were on a campus, somebody's going to see this guy again and again, and he's going to bother somebody else, most likely. So is this a made-up story? I don't know, Jane. It's just, I'm miffed.
Well, we certainly don't want to presume, but
no.
We have to ask the question because It was asked at the news conference. Let's go to the phone lines. Patrick, Texas, your question or thought, Patrick?
Hi.
Hi.
I really just wanted to say the fact that I'm appreciating that you guys are giving us some national coverage. I used to live in the Kansas City metro area, and I know a lot of interstate highways run through that area. The fact that, if she was abducted, there's a possibility somebody outside the local news area could have possibly seen something, and with it getting the national coverage at least, they might take a look and say, I recognize this young lady or something that went on at that time. As far as her being outside in the cold, to be perfectly honest, I've done kind of off-behavior things like sitting out in the cold when I'm trying to be by myself and concentrate as well. So there's a possibility that could have been the reason she was outside as well.
Well, absolutely. We just had to ask the question because it was played at the news conference. That was a theme. I want to play more for you of the voicemail that Aisha left just before she disappeared. Now, this is how she felt after she says a stranger approached her and she had to slap him to get him away.
Oh my gosh, it was so scary. My heart is like pounding. I've never got this scared in my life.
Now, Aisha is certainly, unfortunately, not the first woman to disappear from a college campus. 6 months ago, Lauren Spear vanished from college town of Bloomington, Indiana. Her family and friends have been looking for this woman ever since. 2 years ago, Annie Lee went missing on the Yale University campus, and she was found, unfortunately, brutally murdered 6 days later. So I think sometimes there's a false sense of security on college campuses. Women are targeted on college campuses. Sometimes they're not in great neighborhoods, although apparently this one is in a good neighborhood. Pesneem, was she ever harassed because of her headdress? Do you think this might be some kind of hate crime?
No, well, not that I know of. I mean, as long as I was with her, she was always wearing it and nobody ever bothered her.
Did you think that she was happy and there would be no reason for her to affect this on her own?
Yeah, she was always happy. She was always laughing, and she brightened my day.
Well, we pray that everything is okay with this young woman, that she's found safe and sound. It's a very serious situation. We have to explore all possibilities. But I just want you to know we're going to stay on top of this story. If you hear anything at all, let us know. We're going to be in constant contact with the cops because we want to find Aisha. Thank you both, dear friends, for speaking.